What's up, guys? Dr. Ian here. I don't know that you can tell by the way my camera is angled, but spring has sprung here in the bluegrass. And I don't know about you, but I've got golf fever. I'm itching to get out there. And I talk about golf a lot with my patients. A lot of my patients golf. And a lot of them ask me, what do you do to warm up? Is there a good warm up for golf? And I'm going to show you today just a quick and dirty warm up I do. It's not too complicated, but I think it hits key areas. And it's really good to warm up and get you ready for your round of golf. So if we talk about golf and golf swings, what type of mobility we need, one thing we really want to talk about is hip mobility. And especially like for men, as you begin to age, a lot of times my patients will begin to lose good rotation and movement of the hips. And what rotation or what movement do we need in our hips for a golf swing? If you think about a golf swing, as I come here, what are my hips doing? I've got internal rotation of this right hip while my left hip is externally rotating. So that means this is an external rotation of my hip. This would be internal rotation. So you get one happening on each side. And then as we come through the swing and you're here, now I've got internal rotation of my left or my plant leg, external rotation of my right leg. So you better have internal and external rotation on both hips. So how do we do that? How do we work that? So if I'm at the golf course, I don't want any equipment. So all these warm-up exercises are going to be just what you can do around the golf course or at your golf cart. So for hip mobility, one thing I like to do for patients is have them warm up with just some controlled movements of the hip. So what I have people do and what I do is I'll do 10 each side, flexing the hip, externally rotating the hip, internal, and then back and through. So we're just taking the hip through some ranges of motion. Sometimes you can use your golf club to kind of balance. And you want to keep your torso relatively still. You don't want to be doing this number. Try to isolate your hip, and you may notice that you can't go as far, but you're just doing as much range of motion as you can. You do it both sides 10 times, and you'll feel a nice little warming sensation in the hip, those muscles beginning to contract. Then what I do is I'll have a golf club out in front of me, and I swing back, keep my my torso still, but I swing my leg back 10 times, and then I'll come into extension 10 times, out to the side 10 times. And by the time I've got that done, between the first exercise and that, my glute is fired up. It's feeling good. So from there, what I'm going to work on is actual rotation of the hip. So if I was working internal rotation of my right hip, the first thing I would do, I'm going to lay my club down here, is I'm going to I'm going to keep this all still and then step past with my opposite leg. So my right leg, we're working internal rotation of the hip. My leg is staying straight, my foot is flat on the floor, and my pelvis and rib cage stay stacked. I'm not doing this number. The point is for the pelvis to rotate around the femur and internally rotate the hip. So you would do that obviously both sides. You'll notice my left hip is tighter. It's harder for me to get there. Some people need to kind of come at an angle. That's fine, but we're just keeping that leg posted, rotating in, and you'll feel a nice little stretch as you go into that internal rotation. External rotation. All you need is a chair, a bench, your golf cart seat. It's just a simple stretch where you're going to cross one leg over, get on the edge of your seat, stay upright, and lean forward. You'll feel a big tug in your glute, pant pocket area. Hold for about 30 seconds and come back. Maybe do that a couple times. So from there, your lower extremity is good and warmed up. What do we do up top? We want a lot of range of motion of our swing to come from our hips and our mid-back or thoracic spine. So we want to get that area loose too. So what I'll have, what I do is I cross my arms. I'm going to keep my legs and my pelvis completely still as I rotate my shoulders back and forth. So my hips in this exercise are not moving. I'm rotating my torso as far as I can each side. And I'll do that about 10 times both ways. So I'm not moving my knees. I'm still I'm just working back and forth. Okay, so that's the main ones I do. Then as a bonus, I do this because my right shoulder, because of work, gets tight. But on the back, on the downswing of or on the bottom of a swing, your right shoulder, if you're right-handed, needs to externally rotate as you come through. So I will grab the club and lay it over my arm, hook the club in with my hand, and then I just externally rotate. So you can do this for about 20 to 30 seconds. We're not whammy, in range. We're just approaching to where I can't go anymore. Good stretch, hold. I can come out and do reps, or I can just hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Again, working on loosening up the shoulder, so as I come through and down, I've got a little more external rotation in my shoulder. So typically I can knock that out in a few minutes. It's not disruptive to the round. You don't need any equipment. And then it's really easy to do. So remember, the hip movement, you're doing 10 here, a couple sets, 10 movements each direction, and then walking through a couple sets of 10 on each one. Then you're working your thoracic mobility, keeping your legs completely still, your pelvis fixed as you rotate around your lumbar spine. And then we're working on that external rotation in the shoulder. So quick, easy golf warm-up. Hope it helps you guys out, and I'll talk to you soon.